where we are going and what we're doing. But we set goals at the beginning of the year to increase our membership by 5% and to fund our Rotary Foundation at 2013-14 level. So we didn't really want to put any more additional financial pressures on our club members, and break ground on the Rotary Bandstand project and to have fun. Well, we've been really so far on track. We have increased our membership by 5 people at the end of the year, which is a 3% increase. And yeah, pretty excited. Thanks to all, and thanks to the committee. But you know, it's thanks to everybody here, because membership is really a membership duty, a member duty. You know, we all are supposed to be working on that, or should, because we have such a great club, and we want our club to be branded and to be out there and be an exciting place. And the only way it gets to become exciting is if we have new blood come in, new networking opportunities, and I think we're well on track to meeting our goal and maybe even exceeding it. The bandstand I'm going to talk about separately, but that's on track to be break ground this spring, so that's kind of exciting. And I think we're having fun. So goals are kind of attainable. It's not like we set really high goals, but we set goals that are really achievable for our club, and to have some fun and to just enjoy ourselves here, especially with all our work in the community. So what we've done in the first half, it's been very busy, is, so I don't know if this is going to follow the slides. So that's one of my fun things, keeping Don on his toes. But we I don't know if you're aware, but we were a Rotary International Pilot Club, which allowed us to be flexible and innovative in our membership priorities and recruitment and classifications. And one of the categories that we created 3 years ago was the active engaged, which was very successful. It was so successful that it became an adopted category for Rotary International worldwide, which allows you to attend 2 meetings a month and do community service 2 meetings a month to make up your requirement. Well, we've been able to expand or extend our pilot program another 3 years, and we're looking at, as the new year starts, to have more flexibility. And looking at possibly creating a corporate membership, which is something that other clubs worldwide have done. And you have to be a pilot club to initiate something like that. So we're kind of excited that we can bring that to the Valley. There's, I think we're the only pilot club here in the area for. We've also are planning more socials, and I just wanted to mark your calendars for April 1st. We're going to have a joke contest. It'll be a social, so we'll have our regular meeting in the daytime, but we'll also have a social that night. It just happens to fall on a Wednesday. And membership, I said we had 5 new members come in. So we have Will Bateson, Mike Harris, Lynn Freeman, Mark Stoker, and Steve Powell. I think the majority of them are here. It's good to see you, Chief. And then friends, we have Jackie Polson, who we know is the birthday, and Joyce. I saw Joyce Wallace come in. Is Joyce here? Hi, Joyce. And we have a lot of people in the pipeline, so it's again, it's up to all of us to make our club successful, and we all rely on bringing in people. And as we have fun, I think we'll get and create other opportunities. It's going to be easy to recruit and bring in people. And I put down as part of my fun stuff is birthdays and anniversary team. So you guys are really making our first meetings of the quarter really, or the first meetings of the month, really exciting. So it's really great that we can gently poke fun at ourselves, and you guys do a really good turn at that. And Linda, thanks for decorating the table. Even though the only one who sat here at the birthday table was Bob and Jackie, who we didn't even know was her birthday. Everyone else is scattered. So try, and if it's your birthday, please try and come in and sit at the table. One, it makes it easier to pass out cupcakes. And the other thing is you kind of get that camaraderie of, hey, this is my birthday and I get to sit with you. You know? Norma kind of talked about how generous our club is. I just want to give you some information on that. We passed a hat 3 times this year. And for our Christmas families, we raised over $1,300 with 2 passings of a hat. We raised $350 for our district our district governor's project. And then we raised $760 for our Christmas staff tip. So we're pretty good. And then Carroll Dictionaries did a passing around of a list and raised $2,000 in pledges for dictionaries that kind of complements our $1,000 that the club is giving. So that, yeah. Our Maryland Avenue barbecue was fun this year. We fed or cooked over 1,000 hot dogs, and some of those were veggie dogs that I didn't think would get eaten, but they did. And everything got eaten, even the water. The kids, everybody took everything. But it brought together families and teachers before the school started. Where before we started this program, the school had only maybe 80 parents show up. Here we had over 500 people show up. So the hot dogs were jumping. It was good. It was good. And then our mini grants, we raised, because we are a generous club and we had some additional funds this year, we raised our mini grants budget to $16,000. Well, they've already spent almost $5,000 on the first quarter. And they were able to leverage that with LVEF funds, which is the Livermore Valley Education Fund, to fund 24 nonprofits or educational activities in the first group. And next week is our mini grant program, and we have 25 recipients that will be here. So again, that's thanks to us. We're really impacting the community. We had a fun Christmas party at the barn, and shopping for the Christmas families was really exciting. I got to buy toys for people I normally don't buy toys for, so that was pretty good. And then we're getting ready for a successful crab feed. That's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and I think right now it's our only fundraiser that we do on a regular basis. All of our other funding activities have kind of gone away. And but the only reason that our club is so successful at its crab feed, which will sell out, 450 tickets, that's a lot of people to feed. And we have a great core committee that we couldn't do it. They can do it in their sleep, but we couldn't do the event without them. And so I really want to give a round of applause to our crab feed people. But we don't want them to have to do all the work, so I think it's time that we started a second fundraiser. And I've been talking to the board about this, and I did mention it, I think, once or twice about maybe a fun run in October. And what we would do then is we'll establish a committee, but it'll be an event in the downtown, I'm hoping, to get the other people to join our community projects and to understand what Rotary's about. So that's all my fun stuff. And I wanted to go into the bandstand and just give a quick update on that. And I still have all my notes here, so they didn't fall. So the lectern is faulty on the sides. So the bandstand, it is a project of the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, which is our foundation. We are, along with the Morning Club, are the foundation itself. And they, after a board meeting in October, approved the project itself. They will fund it. We will fund it, because we are the foundation. We will fund it, and which means put the money up front, and then we will do fundraising at a grassroots level to backfill the funding or the cost of the project. And there's opportunities to have a lasting legacy by buying a leaf or some type of sponsorship of the bandstand itself that will put your name on there, or your corporate name, or anybody else you want to designate to have their name in the downtown. I'm planning to put this will be my first time to put my name on something in the downtown. I think of, walking on all those bricks in the Lizzie Square and all the other places is kind of neat to see, look at all the different names. But the way that we've had this go through, we've been working on it since 2010. And I want to thank Steve Neff and Dennis Gans for being the leaders on this project. So, they wrestled it through the Planning Commission and the council and through smaller committees with the city. And we now have agreements that have been reviewed by the city and by the foundation board, and we actually had Charles sign the foundation agreement today. And it's looking at the way that the agreements were facilitated is that we were able to get the city to agree to do part of the cost for the electrical upgrade, because it will benefit the city as well. And we really could not have done this without an effort by our other Rotarians in the room, Mark Roberts and Stu Gary, working with John Marchand, who's our mayor, and other city staff to work out the nuances of a project that's being done by a community group that's going to be owned by the city. So really appreciate your help on that, Stu and Mark. Thank you. So just a little bit more on the bandstand is the estimated cost is $162,000, and that includes designing, planning, and the construction management. The actual cost that we think we need is $80,000, as we are very hopeful that we'll get a lot of materials and labor donated for the construction, and the city is also putting in some of the dollars towards the electrical upgrade. And our club itself has set aside $10,000 previously in last year's budget to offset some of the cost. And although it's a foundation project, it's going to be, because we are the foundation, the two clubs will be staffing all the committees. So you'll get more reports on that. And again, it's a way to leave a lasting legacy of Rotary in Livermore. So, questions?
Yes, Clark.
Manuel?
Are you going to have special plaques for businesses that are going to be donating in a significant amount?
Yes, we have a whole fundraising campaign started.
Yeah, they got it back there.
And there are different levels of financial
10,
sponsorship that you can
what
do.
is it? This
But
table,
on the
that table
personal
got it?
level, everybody
They
can
got
buy a
it.
lead.
Footballs.
50 people can buy a lead for $1,000. So
I know you wanted me to get it over
Any other
to 3,
questions?
but they wanted to sign there. So
It's going to be at Carnegie Park,
I don't,
and it'll be on the K Street
Right.
side, the west side of the park, so between 4th and 3rd on K Street. And it's where the palm tree is. Well, it's right next to the palm tree, because the palm tree will still be there. So, but any other, yeah, Bill?
Can you comment on the, get back to the cost of this thing? Because when we first started talking about it, it seemed like it was more in the 50,000 range, and now all of a sudden it's 160, so.
Well, so the 50,000 that you're talking about is what we as a club thought we would have available to contribute. Because at that time, we were working with a budget that had an excess of 50,000 and more, and we didn't know where it really stood. And we were looking at ways to spend it, and one of the offers to spend down the money was to put $50,000 towards this project. But it's going to be probably $80,000 cold hard cash that we're going to have to raise.
For 2 clubs.
For what?
2 clubs.
For 2 clubs, yeah, all of us, the foundation people. So I took longer than I expected, but I wanted to now pass on to, who's next?
Stu.
Stu.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, Stu.
You guys fight it out.
Okay.
Okay. Now we will update on our budget.
Actually, Stu was next, but that's okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Irv.
My picture up here.
Find the checks?
Actually, we did. We found the checks. Next slide. Or actually, oh, am I standing in your pencil? Hey, all right. A few minor, you might say, procedural kinds of things. We've officially changed the name of the club. You probably for decades have been calling it the Livermore Rotary Club. It is now the Rotary Club of Livermore. The Morning Club is the Rotary Club of Livermore Valley. And this is sort of to be standardized with the way Rotary would like to name all Rotary clubs. Not that big a deal, but it is in terms of paperwork to keep track of it. Also, we're going to change our post office box so that we actually have a physical street address. And so it's probably gonna be a UPS store that has a street address, and then it'll have a post office box in it. And probably within a few weeks, we'll have the new number.
Why are you doing that?
We're primarily doing that is that any corporation needs for legal obligations with the state, you need a physical address. And we're changing our bookkeeper and CPA organization from Ken McCartney, the bookkeeper is going to be Don Rizzuto. And so our affiliation directly with Ken is essentially changed. And so it would be unfair to have him essentially still be a mailing collection point for mail. So, and if we went with another bookkeeper of some sort, that would end up being their address, or another CPA's, their business address. So probably the best thing to do is to have a permanent address, and it needs to be a physical address as well as a post office box. Okay, we're also changing our bookkeeper to Don Rizzuto. So you'll probably see emails from me that mentions or has her name on it as well. She came highly regarded and recommended. And I'm not sure if we had any punch cards. Ed, can you comment on, did you punch any meal cards today? I think we were down, even last time we had a meeting, we did not punch any cards. I think we didn't punch any cards today, so I would say we have physically transitioned from having meal punch cards to member credit, which for me is a big deal, but probably doesn't mean much. You recall, I always like graphs, yeah, I gotta have graphs. You recall when I started being treasurer, we accumulated all the funds that were in 5 different bank accounts, and we discovered that we had a lot more cash than we never expected. And what we have been doing is essentially spending the cash down. So this is last year's funds and this fiscal year. And I thought I had a year marker. This shows basically 2 years worth of spending, and the trend is certainly downward. We would like to get it down to a reserve amount, which is basically sort of a ground plane that we hopefully won't go below, of about $25,000. The end right now, we
need 25,000?
it is generally financially good practice to have some money in reserve. You'll notice how the money levels are continually go up and down each year, and if you essentially brought this down closer, it would eventually go below zero. Well, you can't.
Why 25?
It's called policy.
It was just policy. We actually started with a number that was 50,000, and then they discussed it and then moved down to 25,000. It certainly can be brought up at another level. Be glad to have it discussed some more. Right now we have 66,000, and as commented, the total assets are 66.9. We have some liabilities. The Music Foundation and the Napolese Fund is about 3,500, and we'd like to keep a base of around 25,000. So we effectively have about 38,000 left to spend this year. And what, in terms of income, we're going to have an additional income. Our best guess for the crab feed is about 12,000. For the rodeo parade ordinarily tries to break even, but it probably will make a couple $1,000s. And the bigger expenses for the remainder of the year are the mini grants for 12,000. The dues we have to pay to Rotary, every 6 months we make a dues payment to Rotary International, is $5,300 thereabouts. The bandstand, Millie just mentioned, we're going to donate $10,000 to that. And we have been asked, and the board decided to essentially hold a financial audit, essentially have a third-party CPA come in and do a financial audit. And it's not sure that anybody can remember the last time the club actually had a financial audit. So the net amount will probably go down about $19,000 of the 38 that we have. So we should be fairly close, about half this difference. So we should end up at the end of the year in sort of a $20,000 over and above the reserve amount. But it'll be, tax-wise, it will end up looking like a loss, because you'll end up at a point that's below the beginning of the year amount. If you end up at a lower number, you end up having a loss. And I think that's about all I wanted to tell you. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, that's good information. So Stu, can you come up and talk about the foundation, the Rotary Foundation?
Real quick, fabulous, fabulous thank you for your annual giving to the International Foundation. We did this slide yesterday. The missing envelope resulted in the figures of the slide being substantially better. We had a goal of $45,000 total giving, of which $37,000 was International General Fund Foundation, $8K to Polio Plus. We've already exceeded Polio Plus, even though we put a card on the table and said, January to March is Polio Plus giving season in Rotary. Feel free to continue to give to Polio Plus. We've met the goal. Last night, we were $2,400 short of our $37,000 general fund goal. As of right now, we're $900 short.
Oh my goodness.
So a few more President's Clubs, a couple of more gifts, and we've accomplished both targets for the year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember to get your checks to Patrick McMiniman and I. You can give to the general fund, give to Polio Plus freely, often. If you want to be really easy on yourself, a last reminder, RI takes credit cards. If you want airline, shopping points, miles, I've got about a third of you converted to credit card payments. Go online to RI, give them the plastic, they email a voucher, you send us the email voucher, we cross you off as pledge is paid. Everything's just easy peasy. And with that, Bob Cowan, would you come up, please? I have a Paul Harris pin for you. We recognize today another outstanding contributor. Bob just earned his Paul Harris +8 pin.
Thank you, Stu. That was really great. Congratulations, Bob. But, you know, we have a lot more things to talk about at this meeting that we're not going to get to. Phil has developed an ethics program that we want to institute, and I want to talk about every member on every committee, which we'll be doing on January 28th. This will be a continuation of our assembly. We'll go to that date. And just kind of a little teaser is every member on the committee is going to be like a job fair. So everybody come with your walking shoes on and bring your list of things you want to get involved in, things that you want to do with Rotary and for your community too, how you want to get involved. So with that, Phil, sorry we didn't get to you. I talked too much. But you got your blue tickets? Let's see who's going to start the new year off right. So there's $144 in the pot. And the last three